In Ecuador, citizen revolution movement's Luisa Gonzalez has become the only woman to win the first round of a presidential election and will face businessman Daniel Noboa in the country's runoff. In the United States, tropical storm Hilary has caused flash floods in Southern California after making landfall on Sunday night with winds up to 40 miles per hour. In South Africa, all is set in Johannesburg for the 15th Brics Summit, where the Sandton Convention Centre will host the leaders of the member states. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. With 100% of the tallies counted and after declaration from the Supreme Court, Bernardo Arevalo is the country's new president-elect. The Semilla movement has obtained 58.4% of the total votes, winning over the National Unity of Hope candidate Sandra Torres, who has 37.21% of the votes. After the announcement by the electoral body, the Semilla movement formula, made up by the 64-year-old academic and Karim Herrera, addressed the country. Arevalo did not avoid comments referring to the Public Prosecutor's Office, which has already warned the organization of new procedures. In Guatemala, several authorities have congratulated Bernardo Arevalo of the Semilla Movement Party on his victory in the second round of the presidential elections. The Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador congratulated the Guatemalan people on the winning formula, predicting a time of humanism and justice. The Honduran President Xiomara Castro has also done so. The President of Honduras, Xiomara Castro, did the same, remembering the father of the winning candidate and the winner, and vowing for Central American unity. In the same tone, the Venezuelan executive, through its Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ivan Gil, congratulated the Arevalo-Herrera binomial and reiterated its willingness to work constructively and respectfully for Latin American unity. In a historic event in Ecuador, Luisa Gonzalez, candidate of the Citizen Revolution movement, has become the only woman to win the first round of a presidential election so far after Sunday's election day. With more than 92% of the votes counted, the candidate for the Citizen Revolution wins with 33.29% of the votes and will face the right-wing party Democratic Alliance, led by the businessman Daniel Noboa, in the runoff next October 15th. Noboa obtained 23.67% of the votes, according to the National Electoral Council. 80% of the electoral roll participated in the election day, in a process marked by the inconveniences registered to exercise the vote abroad. The winner of the first round, Luisa Gonzalez, candidate of the Citizen Revolution, highlighted the historic fact that a woman was the winner.
Time in the history of Ecuador that a woman obtains such a high percentage in the first round, winning the election to be President of the Republic of Ecuador and lead the destiny of the country. Thank you very much to my beloved Ecuador. Thank you to the young people, thank you to the women, to the men, to all those who have trusted in the Citizen Revolution and in Luisa Gonzalez. We are celebrating, there is no doubt. We are celebrating because we are making history, because although many of us have been made invisible, today we begin to mark a different history with faith, with hope, and optimism.
After learning the results, Daniel Noboa, a seen candidate of the right-wing National Democratic Alliance, thanked him for his ticket to the ballot.
To start working again, we have to campaign again. There is a second round. We still did not achieve the objective, which is the presidency of the Republic. What we have done is to pass to the second round, for which I congratulate my team and I congratulate all the people who accompany me.
And in this context, Ecuadorians also cast their votes on Sunday, opposing the oil drilling activities within a protected region in the Amazon in an unprecedented decision. This area is not only a sanctuary for two indigenous tribes living in isolation, but also a significant biodiversity hotspot. By early Monday, with over 90% of the votes counted, around 6 out of 10 Ecuadorians rejected the oil exploration in Block 44, which is located within Yasuni National Park, a renowned global center of biological diversity. The region is home to the Tagari and Taromenani tribes, who choose to maintain their self-isolation. This historic referendum occurred concurrently with the presidential election where the leftist candidate Luisa Gonzalez and the right-wing contender Daniel Noboa will proceed to a runoff. Kenya's assessment mission arrived on Sunday in Haiti, which has been plunged into one of the worst waves of violence in recent years. On Sunday, the Kenyan assessment delegation arrived in Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti, with the purpose of evaluating the current situation of violence that shakes the Caribbean nation. According to information provided by the Haitian authorities, the mission will remain in the country for 3 days and will hold meetings with different actors of the national life. The Kenyan mission, which could lead a multinational force to combat gangs, arrives in the country in the middle of one of the most overwhelming waves of violence in recent years. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. The passage of tropical storm Hilary has left the municipality of San Felipe in Baja California in the northwest of Mexico isolated. There were no fatalities, but there was damage to the facades of businesses due to the strong winds. At least 100 people, including adults and minors, were rescued from their homes and taken to temporary shelters. For 21 hours between Saturday and Sunday, there was no communication via internet, cellular, or fixed telephone. The signal returned at 3 o'clock this Sunday morning, although intermittently. The rainwater that accumulates in the northern and southern part of the seawall was pumped to the sea by means of 10 pumps that have been installed and have channeled the liquid at a rate of 60 liters per second. In the United States, Tropical Storm Hilary has caused flash floods in Southern California with rainfall from the southern coast of the state to the desert area. Hilary made landfall in California on Sunday night with winds of up to 40 miles per hour, nearly one-third of its maximum, and became a tropical storm. Meteorologists said this is the first tropical storm to hit Southern California in 84 years, bringing with it the potential for flash flooding, mudslides, isolated tornadoes, intense winds, and power outages. Some mountain and desert areas have been hard hit after receiving more than half of the year's average rainfall in just one day. According to the U.S. National Hurricane Center forecast, Hilary will continue to track across Southern California and Nevada with the potential to put lives at risk. A 6-magnitude earthquake shook the south coast of Ecuador and the north of Peru in the early hours of Monday. The Geophysical Institute of the National Polytechnic School registered the movement at 24 a.m. with local time, with epicenter in the west of the city of Machala, capital of the coastal province of El Oro in Ecuador. According to the first official reports, there were no confirmed damages to people or material caused by the earthquake. The port city of Guayaquil was where the earthquake was registered with greater intensity, causing alarm and the evacuation of some people from the buildings. The heat wave sweeping Spain will keep 13 communities on alert, 9 of which will activate the orange warning for highs of up to 43 degrees Celsius. According to the predictions of the state weather agencies, cities of Andalusia, Aragon, Castilla, Catalonia, Extremadura, Madrid, Navarra, and La Rioja will be this Monday on the orange warning for extreme heat from noon onwards. On the other hand, the yellow level slightly lower is activated for the Balearic Islands for maximum temperatures of 36 degrees and for Valencia. In the south of Galicia will reach up to 37 degrees in Orense as well as in the Basque province of Álava. The Canary Islands, which is suffering from a so far uncontrollable forest fire in Tenerife, may also exceed 40 degrees in the southwest quadrant and northeast depressions. On Monday in Greece, a man was found dead in a fire northwest of Athens. A spokesman for the fire brigade said the elderly man, a shepherd trying to save his animals, had been caught in the flames. The fire forced the evacuation of 2 villages and some bathers from a nearby beach. Civil protection authorities have warned of an extreme risk of fires around Athens and in other parts of southern Greece. Meanwhile, 12 towns were evacuated over the weekend, and 7 firefighters and 1 volunteer were hospitalized with injuries. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Monday said the release date for the treated wastewater from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant will be decided on tomorrow's cabinet meeting.
We will decide on the date for releasing the treated radioactive wastewater by TechCop, after reaffirming the government's effort in ensuring safety and tackling reputational damage.
For his part, Masanobu Sakamoto, head of Japan's National Fisheries Cooperative, expressed his concerns still remain over imminent plans to release treated radioactive water into the sea from the Fukushima nuclear plant.
Remains unchanged, that we are opposed to the water release, and I told Prime Minister Fumio Kishida that we will uphold this stance. There are concerns that once the water is discharged, there will be reputational damage. There is no way people in the fishery industry can rest reassured. That's what I told him.
And in this context, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin also criticized Japan's determination to go ahead with its plans to discharge the plant's water into the sea, despite international concerns.
The Japanese government has been ignoring domestic and international opposition questioning the legitimacy, legality and safety of its discharge plan and its risks to the global marine environment and human health. It just remained headstrong on dumping the water into the sea. This is extremely selfish and irresponsible. China expresses its grave concern and it will closely follow the developments.
We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English. There you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back from the south. In South Africa, all is set in Johannesburg for the 15th Brics Summit. The Sandton Convention Centre will host the leaders of the member states from Tuesday. In addition, representatives from 34 countries have confirmed their participation in the event. This is the first time that the leaders of this economic partnership have met face-to-face in the aftermath of the coronavirus pandemic. The Sandton Convention Centre, Johannesburg's main business venue, will host South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Chinese leader Xi Jinping, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Brazilian President Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. Russian President Vladimir Putin will participate in the meeting by video conference, but Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will attend in his place. The broad agenda of the meeting includes the issue of de-dollarization and the prospects for the creation of a new common currency. So far, more than 20 nations have expressed their desire to join the bloc, while others have already formally applied for membership. Thus, the issue of new members will also be on the table this time. The final day of the summit is expected to focus on talks with leaders of countries that do not belong to the bloc. We now welcome our special envoy, Jorge Gestoso, who is in South Africa with the latest updates of the upcoming Brics Summit, which is set to begin on Tuesday.
Thank you. We are in front of the convention center at Sandton neighborhood, the financial center in Johannesburg in South Africa, where tomorrow starts a new summit of the BRICS, the group of countries that are belonging to Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, and the president of South Africa has invited also the 47 leaders of all the countries of Africa, but also leaders of Asia, Latin America, Europe and the rest of the world. So they're expecting an attendance of at least 40 leaders throughout the 2 days that is going to last this summit, and mainly are going to be two issues that are going to be the center stage of the discussions. One is going to be the extension of the number of members of the BRICS. There's a long list, at least 30 to 40 countries that are waiting in line to be accepted as new members of the BRICS, among them, for example, Cuba, Venezuela, Argentina, and also the discussion of the usage of the one same exchange money. Both things they're going to talking about create a new money that works for all countries, but also the exchange, the increase of exchange, commercial exchange and financial exchange using each other's currency. So there's going to be very important this summit, because the future of this group is going to be decided in this group, and so far as of today, the economic and financial power of the group is even larger than the G7 as of today. We get back to you now.
The Brics Trade Fair, currently underway in anticipation of the upcoming Leadership Summit set to commence in Johannesburg this week, provides an opportunity for companies across Africa to connect and promote their products to significant emerging markets. The trade exhibition, organized by the South African Brics Business Council and the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, commenced on Saturday with the official opening by a high-ranking South African official. This event showcases the vibrant offerings of Africa, including cutting-edge technologies, advancements in healthcare and transportation, and various everyday products. It also presents opportunities for African enterprises to embrace industrialization and growth through the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. South Africa currently engages in trade valued at $80 billion with Brics nations.
A number of products. You'll see cars and taxis and buses and three-wheelers that are made here on the African continent. You'll see here also not only a showcase of South African industrial capability, but also of 19 other African countries.
As a company that is in the area of deploying Wi-Fi to underprivileged communities, equipment for me is a big one. So I'm attending one of the sessions where Huawei is speaking, because we have to find cheaper ways of production to ensure that we reduce our costs, and so that we can roll out to as many communities as possible.
In Angola, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel and his counterpart João Lourenço held official talks on Monday. During the meeting in Luanda, the Caribbean president extended to his counterpart the invitation to officially visit the island, as well as to attend the next summit of the Group of 77 and China, to be held in Havana on September 15th and the 16th. The Cuban head of state valued the fruitful meeting and confirmed the feeling of friendship and mutual trust that distinguished the bilateral ties. The Cuban president ratified the will of both parties to continue expanding and consolidating those relations in areas of mutual interest. The Cuban president arrived in Luanda on Sunday, the first stop of his visit to Africa that includes Mozambique, Namibia and South Africa, the latter to participate in the upcoming Brics Summit. In this context, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez held a meeting on Sunday night with a representation of more than 200 Cuban collaborators in Angola, where he recalled the historical roots of friendship between the two nations.
We are here out of solidarity. We are here out of solidarity since Che and Neto met in the 65. And later on Neto met Fidel, and from that long history of friendship, there was also a crucial moment for the Angolan homeland. Neto asked Cuba to support them in the defense of the country, and it is true that the work of Cuba was heroic or epic. The Carlota operation, the battles that distinguished that epic as was Quito Cuanavale, but it has also been very heroic what has been done in terms of cooperation based on the postulate of Fidel that we saw at the beginning of this meeting, and that you are protagonist of this other stage that has also been epic.
We have come to the end of this news briefing. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.